Here we are. Happy Sunday, everyone. Gordana and I are back for another Sunday Live. You and I didn't take last Sunday off. We worked, but
Yes,
we took the
yes, we
live
were.
day
Yeah,
off.
yeah. Hi, everyone. Happy Sunday. We're back again, color coordinated as usual.
In synchronicity, as usual.
Always in synchronicity. Yes, of course. We're going to have a beautiful Sunday live conversation today because we're going to talk about age and we're going to talk about time and we're going to talk about beliefs and truths that are connected to that and the stories that we keep telling ourselves to keep us in a state where we think that age is something horrible when we start aging. So I think we're going to have a blast here, don't you?
Yes, I'm excited. I one of these accounts I follow on Twitter who I really like, you and this other anonymous account, which I have no idea who the person is, but started tweeting about timelines yesterday. And I'm like, okay, of course we're
Mm,
talking about timelines and age and as preparation for this. And and really what I took from my this tweet and then in meditation this morning is surrendering to the divine allows us to
mm,
choose time.
mm,
In that if we're in this flow, the matrix, the have to do's and the grinded outs, and this is the age that I am, and this is the careers that I have, and all these binaries,
mm,
we then get pulled down a timeline. But when we surrender to the divine, we can kind of override and say, how old am I?
mm.
Infinite? Am I ageless? Or do I
Yeah.
dip in? It was fascinating this morning.
Mm. Yeah, because if you look at it this way, who you truly are, the soul, it can never be defined by gender or age or skin color or profession. So it's an illusion. When you define yourself as an old person, that is an illusion. It's a question of how much of this life force we are allowing to go through us in each and every now moment that decides what kind of image we're projecting outwardly. And
Right.
I mean, I can see the difference between people who love what they do and the difference between people who don't love what they do. You can
Yeah.
see it, they look drained. And when you look drained, that is a signal that there is an age going on, that you're old. And that is because you're deprived of that life energy. So, how do we tap into that life energy? We can do that anytime. We can be 90 years old and still feel vibrant. And I'm not talking, when I talk about feeling the age or feeling old, you can do that when you're 30. It's not about the wrinkles, it's about the feeling from within and the hopelessness that might put you into. So for me, it's a question of understanding where do I find that flow and how do I tap into it. And even an even more important question is, what is that flow?
Yeah.
It's, we are always tapped into it when we do what we love, regardless of what that is. It can be, I don't know, picking flowers, or it can be quantum physics. It doesn't matter as long as we feel that we are curious and that this curiosity is driving us forward. Age has no meaning in that at all, because when you, the presence, the divine presence,
Yes.
becomes present in doing what you love here, you are directly connected to the infinite flow of energy, which
Mm.
is life force in itself. And you know, when you sit and you do stuff and it's gone 5 hours and you look at your watch and you go, oh my God, it feels like 1 hour.
Right.
Well, you have aged 1 hour, and the rest of the world has aged 5 hours because you have been outside of time and space. When you are in that flow, the flow that gives you this joy, the flow that is rewarding you with life energy when you're doing what you love to do, because that is your purpose here,
Mm.
that is when you feel that you are timeless. And that is why when you look at the time, you go, it's an illusion. It's just 1 hour, but it's 5 on my watch. You realize the illusion of time. You also realize where you can prolong your life by
Mm.
being more and more in this infinite flow of energy. by doing what you love, regardless of what that is. Doing what you love will always give you a sense that you have more life force, that you are not drained, and you prolong the time. It becomes elastic. It's no longer, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It becomes prolonged in a way, which is hard to explain in words, but everyone that's been in this flow know what I'm talking about.
Right. Well, did you see the movie The Avengers Endgame? Do you watch the,
Yes,
you know?
yes, yes, I do. I have a son here.
Yeah,
It's I have to, yeah.
right. Well, I was just watching Endgame the other, I don't know, like a week ago, and
Mhm.
Ant-Man comes back from the quantum field, and they're like, "How
Yes.
do you look the same?" And he says, "That's it. For me, it was 15 minutes or 5 minutes or
Hmm.
something like that. For you, it's been 5 years. Like I haven't been
Yes.
gone long. I just was gone for a second. I came back." And in that quantum, which I think, the movie makes it where they're here or there, but it's always now. And the quantum is
Mm.
now. We can surrender, we can be present, we can choose to not attach to these words like retirement. What does that even
Yes.
mean? Retire. I don't want to be retired. I don't want to be
Hmm.
retired. I want to be vibrant, visceral, energetic, effervescent, powerful, joyous, light, illuminescent at now,
Hmm.
tomorrow, the next day, now, forever. There is no
Hmm.
retirement. But these
Mm.
words and these timelines, if we attach to them, make us tired, make us
Mm.
exhausted, almost to surrender to the timeline. Like,
Mm.
when's it going to be over? That's
Yes.
that's a horrible,
Yeah.
and that's in this time space reality.
Mm. I mean, there is time and there is space, but both are more elastic than we think. It's a
Mm,
question of what we believe because we are in the center of that cross, time and space. That is where we are. So we can literally affect both time and space. There's perceived time and there's clock time.
yeah,
And say that you're in a hurry and you want to catch the bus and you have 5 minutes. It goes by like this because you're in a hurry. You try to put so much into that time so that you will be on time.
right.
Say that you have nothing to do and you have to wait for 5 minutes. Those 5 minutes are going to be very long because they're perceived in a different way. It's connected to your perception of reality.
Mm,
Time is connected to perception of reality. Time is also connected to the beliefs that we have about reality. I mean,
mm,
in school, we are taught that there's so as as much time as you are given, that is the time, the amount of time there is, and then you have 5 minutes where you can play and have fun, and then you have to go back again and be 45 minutes inside, and these 45 minutes feels like 45 years some days
right.
because you're bored to death. This is not what you want to fill your time with. If we start looking at time in a different way, if we do not see time as a line and seconds tick, 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 tick on that line, instead we start seeing time as a bowl, an empty bowl given to us every single morning. And it says, what do you want to fill this bowl with? What kind of emotions do you want to fill it with? What kind of beliefs? What kind of life do you want to fill this bowl with? This is how we become the owners of our own time instead of that being someone else's property. In
Mm,
our society, we are always working, and in exchange, we get money for it. So we're actually trading our time to money.
right,
And
right.
that's why we start filling this bowl with things that we actually don't want, but we know we need in order to survive. So the bowl is about survival and not about thriving. That ages us more quickly because we are not doing what we love. This is also why we talk about retirement. Retiring from what? You can't
Yeah,
retire from your life.
right.
Retiring from what you do not like to do, which is your work. This is why it's so important to find any time you can, to find the time to do what you love, even if it's short periods of time. You're still replenishing all the lost time because you can live in that quantum where the Ant-Man is when you're doing your things that you love. You're literally living there.
Right.
You can see this when you look at people who do what they love. There is a vibrancy in them. They are filled with energy. They might have wrinkles. They might be 90 years old, but they do not. You don't perceive them as old. You perceive them as vibrant and young.
Right.
That is the difference of doing what you love and not doing what you love. Filling the bowl of time with the emotions and the beliefs that
Yes.
are beneficial for you instead of the beliefs that we all have. I mean, our society is promoting really horrible beliefs about older people. The older you get, the more fragile you are, and that's not truth. I
Right.
had a great grandmother who was 99 years old, and she was running over the fields because she didn't want to be in one place, she wanted to be in another place, and everybody was telling her, you're too old, you can't do this, and she ran over the fields, 99 years old. She didn't have one disease, and she died 99 years old knowing that she was going to die that day. She just said, I want to help me dress up. She told my mother, who was 12 years old at that time, help me dress up, um, help me with my hair. I want to have lunch, and then I'm going to sleep. And that was what she did. And she died in her sleep, never being sick. So, I mean, if I would have told my great grandmother that the older you get, the more problems you will have with your body, and you will be fragile, and your hearing will go, and you won't remember things. She would have laughed at me because none of these things happened
Mm.
because she didn't believe in them. She
Yeah.
didn't
They were
read them
tangible
anywhere.
for
She
her.
didn't hear them. This
Right.
was way back in time. So I think beliefs are really, really important to kind of question your beliefs about aging. Ask yourself, what are the truths
Right.
that I'm telling myself about age?
Well, belief is a conjunction of life,
Hmm.
be in the now moment. Beliefs are presently observing where we are. We think of it as beliefs of like, I believe in a religious or philosophical
Mm.
structure, but it's only exploring reality now. But beliefs can take us away from the now moment, which isn't
Hmm.
a belief, it's something else. A belief is right now.
Mm.
I believe it is
Mm.
good that we're talking and we're exploring this right now. It's not, I believe, I don't know, there's the spells, we talk about this all the time.
Yes, yes,
We
yes.
work during the week. We spell it maybe WEEK, but it doesn't sound any different than WEAK. And we wait for
Hmm.
the week, our strength to deplete, end. Please end our depletion
Hmm.
of strength so that I can have the weekend to rest on Sunday. And so I start again on Moon Day or Monday and all these
Hmm.
words.
Mm.
None of this is real
Mm.
now. What day, what time, what moment
Yeah.
is now? What
Mm.
year is now? what
Mm.
what is now? It's infinite, it's limitless, it's whatever we
Yeah.
want to be. I remember when I would try to pray 2 hours a day when I was a young man. I'd pray an
Hmm.
hour in the morning and an hour at night. I'd go into the field, I'd take a towel with me, and I'd go lay out in this field and I'd pray. And there would be times where I check in my watch, like if I hit an hour, because my goal is an hour, I'm going to hit an hour.
Hmm.
So check my watch. It was miserable. But there were some times I would get in that space and the timer would go off. And I'm like, I felt like I just got in the space. It was as if
Mm.
it was so magnificent. And there's only been a few times in that realm, in that time and space of me praying and doing instead of meditating. Like when I meditate, it's like an hour goes. I'm like, what the heck? I feel like I just
Mhm.
explored this, this, wherever I am. It's really cool when we can. I think here's actually hearing all this stuff. Most people have yet to experience that limitless time in the now moment. And
Mm.
maybe that's the greatest encouragement is if we all explored time, the limitless time in the now moment, how amazing would we be? Did your grandmother feel like 99? To her, it was
Mm.
today, and it was
Mhm.
today, and it was today, and I'm going to live.
Yes, exactly. You know what? I mean, it's knowing oneness starts with
Mm,
knowing that there is no space between us and that there is no time between in the now moment. That is what oneness is, to be focused in the one now. That was what you were describing, to be focused in the one now, that we're all one. There is the space and time are illusions that we're exploring here. We can't escape it. As long as we have a body, we will be in time and space. There will be something that we will perceive as time, and there will be something that we perceive as space. The trick here is to choose the things that are beneficial. Why would you explore time as something horrible and harming? That's a belief. So the universe will give you whatever you want. It is totally neutral. It will unconditionally
yes.
give you what you ask for with your free will. And a belief is a prayer. A belief is something that you ask for in the universe. So let's say that you believe that you're getting old. And the universe says, yes, absolutely. Look in the mirror. There you see, you're old. There's a wrinkle. You don't have energy. There's something wrong with you. The universe will give you that because that is what you're asking for. The infinite field out there, the formless intelligence will always match your frequency, meaning always match your belief. This is why it's so important to look at what is it that I believe about aging. Do I think that I'm old when I'm 30 years old? Why do I feel that I
Midlife,
am old now? Yes, midlife
midlife
crisis.
crisis,
What is
midlife crisis.
that?
Right.
Yes, there is nothing. That's a belief, that's a construct, that's a human construct.
Right.
I remember as a child looking at my mother when
Mm,
she was talking to other women that were of the same age as she was. I was 10 years old or maybe 12. She was in her early 30s. And I looked at her and I could see the difference between her and everybody else around her. Now, my mother worked in a factory, so she did not have a shiny, beautiful life. She was actually occupied with working in a factory all her life. Also, she was married to a total narcissist, dominating husband. So she was always under some kind of pressure. And yet, while I was watching her speaking to the other women, I could see that my mother looked much younger than they did. It was not just the way she looked. It wasn't that she didn't have any wrinkles. It was her way of standing, her way of being. There was something going on there where she would not fall prey to the age that the other women were manifesting between them. My best friend's mother, who was just 2 years older than my mother, looked like an old lady when she stood beside my mother because she was moving like an old lady. And she was telling herself the story of an old lady.
right.
She was 35 telling herself the story of a lady. Well, I'm 35 now. I can't do that. I can't wear that. I can't be that. It was always, I can't do that because of my age.
Mm,
And she died young. Literally, she was 40 something when she died, hit by a car. And it's irony in this because if you think that you're old when you're 30, then your life is not going to be going in the direction that you want it to go because you are
that's it.
young as you feel always. For me, it was like when I watched her, my mother, I could extract the beliefs that she had, even if they were wordless. There were some kind of cues that she had in her way of moving. And I could see that, okay, I want to do that. I don't want to do that. I didn't know how to. I just saw it as there are two truths here. We are looking at women that are of the same age, and I can see two truths there. There is a truth. If you believe that you're old, you will experience the frequency of being old. If you believe that you're not old, you will experience that frequency, regardless of what you do, where you work, how much money you have, who you are. It's just the frequency underneath. which is connected to what you believe about yourself. If you are susceptible to what society tells you is old, young, weak, whatever it is.
I just had a wild idea.
Yeah. Let me hear it.
Everyone buckle up. From my experience, just looking at you and I,
Yeah.
and I mean, my experience of coaching others,
Mm-hmm.
I have to think, I would say this is across the board. I'm trying to scan my mind right now. Those who never got love from their parents, but are still seeking the love from their parents,
Yeah.
look older to me.
Mm.
You know, and then I
Yes.
truly in my coaching, the men's retreats, I'm like, those who are still seeking the love from the parent that will never come the way they want it look old.
Mm.
And it's almost as if they're choosing in to be like,
Mm.
to mirror what they look like, to be appear to them, to finally get that acceptance from them.
Mm.
Those who have broken away from that lack and that need and the pain and the wound and found the inner child is the only one, we can only love the inner child inside of ourselves, look younger, look more healed, look more glowing.
Mm.
And there's something to energetically being tied to the past, being tied to the future.
Yes.
That's almost like ripping away our cells. We don't look as vibrant and effervescent. And I think it's so important. When we were talking the other day at men's retreats and my coaching clients, after we go through this one exercise, I bless everyone with another 50 years. And I say, I go around, I bless you with 50 years. I bless you with 50 years. I said, 50 years. Think what you can do in 50 years, 5 decades of life. I don't care if you're 48, 68,
Yes.
50 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you can, it's like, it's almost like the mind has to like, it's almost like this turbine has not been turning properly. And it's like,
Yes.
and it starts clicking and moving and like 50 years. What is time? Except by what I define it as. And if I'm not seeking love from another person, if I'm in myself, wholly here to explore in every now moment, the infinite and unconditional, the divine, the beauty, where is time in that? A day? I've meditated and felt like minutes, but I was in hours. What is time?
It's a really tough thing to explain what time is. It is presence. The more present you are.
Yes.
And when I speak about presence, I talk about the soul. How much of your soul are you allowing to flow through your body? The more you can be present in your now moment, the more mindful you are, even when drinking water or whatever it is, when you are mindful, you are present and your soul is there. And this cannot age you because there is a life force in this. You were talking about going back and healing the inner child, as we do in our chorus memories, going back and finding that child. If that child is not allowed to glow, if that child is not allowed to be the child it was supposed to be loved, that becomes a black hole in you, and that deprives you of that energy. And this is what you describe the people that your clients, so do mine. If they're stuck in their past, there is a dullness. They are gray, the skin is gray, something's happening. They perceive themselves as older because they have burdens, they have bitterness, they have guilt. All of these frequencies are too low frequencies for your cells to work in an optimal way. So that is why it is, you can see it, it's visceral. When you have not gone back, found that inner child, given that inner child the light and the love and the care and the beauty that it needs in order to flourish within you, it will be a black hole always pulling backwards, not allowing you to flourish outwardly. So I think you're actually very much onto this. It affects time. It affects how you behave in time and what happens to you in time. Also, I mean, your thoughts affect your outer reality. We all know this. I mean, what you think, you perceive. The
Right.
way you believe this reality is, it is. It
Mm,
mirrors your thoughts back.
mm,
Well, here's the key: as above, so below. We
yeah.
know that that is true.
Yes.
But the truth is also inner and outer reality. Whatever you do inside of your head,
Mm,
whatever beliefs, whatever frequency you send out, you're not just sending it outwardly, you're also sending it inwardly, meaning that you're
mm,
not just reaching the stars out there, you're reaching the molecules, the atoms that you are made of. And
mm,
the cells in your body listen and obey to every thought you have, to every belief you have, to every emotion you have. And they go, yes, we are listening and we're doing. So if
mm.
you think that, oh my God, I'm 50 years old, now I'm old, your cells go, okay, sure, working on that.
Yeah.
Exactly as the formless intelligence outside of you is working, so is the formless intelligence within you working through your cells. So, do you see how important it is to scrutinize all the beliefs that you have about who you are, how old you are, and what that means to you? I
Mm,
mean, what are the truths that we tell about ourselves when we get older? Most people, I see 30-year-olds that go, oh my God, I'm 30-year-old. No one wants me anymore. I'm too old to do this. I'm too old to do that. Actors saying, I'm too old now, I'm 30. And I go, whoa, what is this? This is a program.
yes.
Stop.
Yes.
Turn the program off.
Right.
Start to tell yourself another story. And I always go back to my great grandmother and my mother when I start going down that slope, waking up in the morning, looking myself in the mirror. Oh my God, I have wrinkles. I mean, I'm 50 something. I'm 55 actually.
Mhm.
And if I look myself in the mirror every morning and I say, oh my God, a new wrinkle, that puts me in a mantra, that puts
Right.
me in a prayer where I'm acknowledging, oh my God, I'm getting old. Do you know what I do? I look myself in the mirror and I go, oh, there's a wrinkle. And then I smile and I look. I can see how, if I have a nice frequency about this, if I'm not afraid about this,
Right.
my wrinkles become a part of my face and
Mm,
I own them and they become beautiful just because I'm smiling. I'm not
yes.
forcing the smile. I just go, yes, this is me. This morning, this is me. And I
Mm, mm,
accept it as it is. And it can't put its claws into me and pull me down because I own it.
right.
I can see 90-year-old women that are beautiful because there's curiosity in their eyes.
Mm,
I don't see the wrinkles there. No one sees the wrinkles because
right.
if there is curiosity, if there is life force underneath them, you don't see the wrinkles, you see the life force.
Right.
That's the difference when you allow that life force to come through you, and it's all connected to beliefs,
Mm,
what you've been through in the past, and how much of that garbage you have been able to shed.
right.
That will define how other people perceive you. I've
Mm,
seen people who have gone back in their memories, released themselves from the bondage, the emotional chains that they have to their past, found their inner child, and they actually look younger
yeah. They glow.
afterwards.
Yes.
Something
Yes.
happens.
Yes. It's like it's almost like the hard layer melted away, and
Yes,
you're this
yes,
smooth as baby skin. Like, it's bizarre.
yes.
You're like, what has happened? But it's incredible.
It comes from within.
Yeah.
That kind of change, you can't put makeup on to fix that change. It has to come from within. This is why when you look at people who are very sad, they might look older than they are, and then when the joy comes back, it radiates something else. It's the glow we're talking about, and you can't fix that with Botox, you can't fix that with
Right.
makeup, you can't fix that with fake smiles. it has to be felt from within, because that is where the cure comes from. Shedding the beliefs that are no longer working for you. I mean, there are so many beliefs we have about age. The older we get, the more we have these beliefs that I need. I think we need to switch them. We need to go through them and see, do they work for me? And if they don't work, change the story about them.
Right. Here's a big
It
one
ha-
that all
yeah.
my friends, because I'm turning 40 in a few months, and the term over the hill. Well, I grew up when my parents or others turned 40, they over the hill. I'm like,
Yeah.
over the hill. First of all, I'm
Yeah.
just getting started. Everyone watching, like,
E-
I'm just getting started.
Exactly.
I feel great and I'm ready for an incredible life to create beauty and goodness in this world. And I was thinking about this morning in preparation for that, over the hill. So tension makes us stronger. Tension, like lifting weights, tears the muscle, makes strength. Tension on bone makes the bone stronger.
Mhm.
But if we're going downhill, there's no more tension, then it actually weakens us. So you think about
Mhm.
the spell that is cast on humanity,
Mhm.
that I am over the hill. There is no more tension, therefore I die.
Mhm.
I am weak. I'm not growing. I'm
Mhm.
like, my mountain is just, and I don't even need the hard mountain. It doesn't even hard. It's beautiful and it's magnificent, and the view from above. And I don't think I'm coming down when I get up there. In fact, I might just be the monk at the top of the mountain. And if you want to find me, come find me, but I'm not coming down. This is
But
life.
yeah, this is why I want us to rewrite the story. Down the hill, there are valleys.
Mm,
And down the hill, for me, the way I would see this, changing, shifting perspective, I have had a struggle all the time until I reached that mountaintop. And now I'm 40 years old. And what? Well, now I can soar. I can literally allow myself
yeah.
with the flow down to the valley where there is a river and beautiful green, lush gardens.
Mm,
Why would I feel that that is wrong? That's
yeah.
beautiful,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
Or, when people say, well, those were my glory days. I mean, what are you saying? Why are you saying this? Every new day in front of you can be a beautiful, glorious day.
Yes.
Those were my glory days in the 80s with the hair like that. No, they that wasn't my glory days. I have my glory days ahead of me. And I
Right.
mean this. This is
Yeah.
not what I'm saying just because I want people to, I don't know, start believing this. I really mean it. This is
Yeah.
how I perceive reality. I see it as, what are you talking about? How can I know that those were my glory days? I can say those were glorious days,
Yeah.
but they
Yeah.
weren't my glorious days, like the last days of my glory there.
Mm,
No, I have so many glorious days ahead of me. I mean, even my great great grandmother, who was 99 years when she died, I promise you, if you would have asked her the day before she dies, have you lived your glory days? She would say no, because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. It might be the best day of my
I
life.
love that. I love that. I love that.
That's where you want to live. Why aren't we choosing that every single day to say, yes, this is
Mm,
what I want? Because as I said, what we tell ourselves becomes our reality, but both inner and outer reality. This is how healing starts. When you realize that, okay, so I don't have to feel like this. I can change how I feel about myself and my age.
mm.
Why are we listening to what the society tells us? Like when you're 40, okay, so now you're getting older.
Right. Right.
What is that? I mean, today, this is even more important to understand. Somehow in our society, we have pushed the age limits. When I was a child, people in their 40s, they looked old,
Yeah.
literally. They were old people.
Right.
Today, when I look at it, it's not at all the same thing. It's pushed maybe 10 years backwards. So people who are in their 40s now are more like the people in the 70s when they were in their 30s.
Yeah.
Something has happened with time. Time isn't as it was before.
Mhm.
Time is relative, time is changing, time is connected to people's beliefs and our collective beliefs too.
Right. Right.
So it is very, very changeable. It's not written in stone. It has nothing to do with how the clock ticks 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, nothing to do with that. As I say, it's what we fill it with, the time bowl.
I don't know how many amazing biographies I've written of great people who have existed in the future or in the past, in the future. They exist in the future too, but in the past,
Yeah.
who they, what do we hear about them? They finished school at 14. They went to college at 16 years old. They started college at 16, 17. They were done. They were already in their profession.
Mm.
Now they're talking about this. Where does the time programming come from? It starts in school. It's like you can only
Yeah.
learn this at this age, this at this age. You're telling me all the knowledge that you're teaching from kindergarten to 12th grade of high school, it's going to
Mm.
take that many years. I'm sorry, but we're not learning like quantum physics in high school. Like most people, like what is happening? They've created the time continuum and then we believe it.
Mm.
It's fascinating right now. It's like we're taking
It
our
is.
power back. We're taking our power back. People
Mm.
are reclaiming. We go, this is the biggest word for me is sovereignty. I talk about it, post about it, speak about it.
Mm.
But sovereignty is the ability to say what time is for oneself.
Mm.
The only thing that we know is the sunlight, the daylight. That's it. It's like
Yes.
in winter is there's more darkness. In summer there's more sunlight, but
Yes. When something is a belief system created by society and the people in it, if you look at children, they have no clue what time is because time is not real,
right.
not the way we see it. Time is something that is repeating itself. The sun goes up, the sun goes down, the sun goes up, the sun goes down, moon up, moon down, sun, moon, down, up. That's what it's doing.
Right.
I remember when I was 10 years old, I got a watch because I was 10 years old and I needed my watch. And I did not understand what I was supposed to do with that watch. I had it there and I looked at it as a piece of jewelry, but I did not understand what I was supposed to do with the time because I woke up every morning. I had a clock on my nightstand and it rang when I was supposed to wake up. I knew exactly what I was supposed to do. And I was in time at school without any time on my wrist. The soon I got this little device on my wrist, it put me in time boxes. I got used to watching myself through time, knowing exactly what I need to do when I needed to do it. And I wasn't as free as I was before I was 10. I didn't know that it was a device that could enslave me in time slots during the day, but it was. So time is an illusion. I did not know what time was. I knew how to be on time without having a watch. And then I got a watch and it controlled everything. It was literally on the minute because I had a father who was really very strict with time. So I knew exactly when I was supposed to be back, exactly when I was supposed to wake up. There is nothing natural in this. It is very artificial and very, very strange. And as a little child, you have no concept of this because it isn't real. It's a mind construct.
Well, one Healing Adventures, Tara, who's watching, she said the fact that it's called a watch is not free. Like if we're
Yes.
watching, we're always out of the present moment.
Yes.
We're never now. It's always then. When is it then? Is it then now?
Yes.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah, it's so true because
yeah.
it's a watch. You need to watch yourself, to watch the time.
Right.
Instead of watching your life, you're watching the time. And I've always been a little bit crazy when it comes to time. I remember when I was studying in Lund, and at the university in Lund, and we were doing a course. I don't even remember what it was. I think it was something in psychology, and we were talking about time.
Mm.
So we had this exercise where went home, and I had to write about that. And I wrote about my experience with time. And I was the only one who didn't perceive time as a line like this, going from this point to this point. I perceived time as me being here like this pen, and then time was going around me like that.
Yeah.
And my professor said, can you please explain a little bit more about that? How do you explain this? I mean, isn't your time moving forward? And I go, no, it isn't. It's around me like this. And he says, well, where's your memories? And how do you select what memories where they are in your memory? And I go, the memories that I like are close to me. The other ones are further apart in that circle around me. And he was like, I was more shocked than him, because I thought everyone saw time like that, and they don't. Most people see time as it starts here and it ends there. Time doesn't end. I mean,
Right.
it doesn't. It's now, always. There
Always,
is
always.
always time. Now, it's always now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you can tap into that always now, then you are connected to that flow we were talking about earlier. The flow is always there. A portal to this flow is always joyous. You can go in through the portal of curiosity. It can be love. It can be art, beauty. Those are the portals to that flow, and they're always there. They're literally always there, unless you are watching the time and being in time. Then you can't enter these portals, because time, you can't be creative if you always have time slots in being creative. I mean, if there is no time to be creative, we have to be practical here now. So just understanding that if you jump out of that, watching your time, you can go through the portals of creativity, beauty, love, joy, dance. Those are the ones that will connect you to that flow. And you can do that anytime. It's free, costs nothing, just a little time. That is what it costs.
A little time, a little presence.
Yes.
There's two verses in the Bible that I think are a good contrast to what we're talking right now. Or to back up, there's a verse that David said, the joy of the Lord is my strength. So the joy of the divine is my strength. Joy is my
Yes.
strength.
Yes.
So joy gives us strength. It makes our bones strong, our vitality. When we are in joy, or when we enjoy the moment, we are strong. There's another verse that he wrote and said, envy is as rottenness in the bones. So envy, which takes us out of the now moment, out of gratitude, always looking, never enough. What did they have? Makes our bones brittle. We start to decay because we are not now presently in joy. And I think this is where the contrast of this three-dimensional polarity, it's like you can choose this or you can choose this, but no, in the center is the choice. This is the truth of you, whether you go here or there. You can go explore this, you can go explore that, but it's now. And do you need to choose to be in now, or can you be in now? Therefore the choices really kind of dissolve away in that moment.
Yes, this is so beautiful, because what you're describing here is literally what a frequency does to your body. And a frequency is always connected to what you believe about yourself, about reality, about anything. It's a belief, but it's never the truth.
Right.
It's just a belief. It's
Right.
If do you want to believe this illusion or that illusion? Because the ultimate truth that there is that there is a stillness
Mm,
wanting to explore this reality through you and
yeah.
your beliefs.
Right.
Well, your power is that you're able to choose the beliefs.
Mm,
Of course, it's really hard to choose a belief if the entire society tells you that when you're 55, you're an old lady. It's
mm,
really tough because you have to push that belief aside and say, what is my truth here? How do I feel from the inside? Is there a joyous thing going on within me, or am I feeling old?
mm,
I am the one choosing what belief I want to explore. It can be any belief. I can explore the belief that I'm 55 years young and I'm going to do stuff that I haven't done yet. The curiosity and the joy and the excitement that I'm going to do this. My glory days are in front of me, not
that's right.
behind me. But it's a choice. It's a choice in the now moment, and it's real. And it's easy to make that choice because it's always there. You don't have to look for it.
Right.
I think that what we're talking about here is choosing the frequency that feels good in the body. And you
Mm,
know how you always say, if it allows you to breathe, it's
yeah.
the truth.
Yes.
Well, if
Yes.
it allows you to breathe when you're thinking the thought, I am vibrant, I can do anything I want in my life, regardless of what age you're in, well, that is the truth.
Yes. Yes.
It
Oh,
allows you
man,
to
that gave
breathe.
me chills. That just gave me chills.
Yes.
Right. It's fascinating that truth, um, it's become such a observational variable
Mhm,
versus coming from within and knowing the truth from within. And that's why, I mean, obviously your book is so important,
mhm,
know the truth. But it's like,
mhm,
oh, you go seek the truth, or I got to find the truth, or I mean, I have been driven. Yes,
yes,
and it's always from within. It's,
yes.
can I breathe?
Mhm,
Do I feel happy? Do I feel lighter? Do I feel joy?
mhm,
Is this, would I pass this feeling on to every single person on the planet? Yes.
mhm,
Freedom. I bless you. I mean, from that place, who
mhm,
wouldn't want to be blessed from that place? But when we're seeking and controlling and manipulating, and not us necessarily, but when we submit to
mhm,
that system that will gladly take from
mhm,
us what we are not
mhm.
consciously willing to give, that's where this word truth gets so strange. And it's, the truth is within, always, always. And the truth is infinite. And
Yes,
it's, you know, it's all
yes.
places, you know.
You know, truth is always love and above. That
Mm,
is the frequency.
mm,
Love and above. Everything else is an illusion that we choose to explore. It is okay to explore it as long as we understand that the truth is love and above. I
mm,
mean, we are here to explore the contrast to that. Sometimes you are in the contrast of that, that ages you, but know that you can always return to the truth by going through the flow that we're talking about, the portals that are there to
mm,
reach that love and above frequency.
mm,
Everything that we have been talking about, the curiosity, the beauty, the love, everything is in that span of frequency, love and above. And it's the truth always. It
yes,
is all inclusive. So I think the more we can spend time in those frequencies, the more happy, vibrant, and enjoyable our life becomes. We are more happy, we are more vibrant, and that signals no aging.
mm,
I really have to stress this. I'm not talking about not having any wrinkles. I'm not talking about not having any bodily aches.
yeah,
I'm not talking about these things. I'm talking about how we choose to perceive ourselves, regardless of age,
yeah,
and how much time we spend in joy and love and openness. The way our society is today, there's a lot of fear out there,
mm,
pushing and pulling and tugging. And young people might feel old and drained because of those frequencies that they're swimming in right now. The
Mm.
trick is to say, I know where my truth is, and then bathe for a couple of hours in that truth by doing what you love,
Yes.
regardless of what the outer reality pushes on you right now. Because all of these frequencies, the bitterness, I think the bitterness is a real poison. And I can see it in so many people who, as you say, haven't solved their childhood traumas.
Yeah.
And then the bitterness sets in, and it's literally like poisoning yourself sitting in that.
Yeah.
Anger, bitterness, resentment, guilt,
Yeah.
shame. Oh my God, shame. Those, it's like poison. Of
Mhm.
course, you will age by
Mm.
this because it keeps you in a time, in a place in time and space, which is no longer here. It keeps you in an illusion. That is why we need to go back, resolve that, and then allow ourselves to be exactly where we are and start enjoying whatever is in front of us, the glory days in front of us.
Mm. I'm going to define some words here because this is, I think, incredibly important point that people, if I could leave everyone with this, I want to define these words and everyone listening, Gordana and I are talking. I'm not qualifying anything, but I want you to understand the context of how these can be used to manipulate or how you can take back the understanding to be in the present moment. The word sin is an old archer term, which means to miss the mark. So if you have a target and you didn't get
Mhm.
the bullseye, that was the greater sin, was the greater further away you hit from the target. There was no judgment of right or wrong. The archer wasn't wrong. It was just simply an observation of where the arrow hit. You would adjust and course correct.
Mm. Mm.
Well, if we are meant to live in the now moment where love and above exists and infinite beauty and goodness and just all that is good is now,
Mm.
anything outside of now, we could say in the archer's term, if now is the target,
Mhm.
anything that takes us out of now is a quote unquote sin. But this is not a religious word. This is a archer's term. So
Mm.
now always is the target. We always want to return back to now.
Mm.
Anything that takes us in the future or the past or all these different timelines takes us out of now. Okay. There's a verse in the Bible that gets manipulated to the highest degree. It's
Mhm.
just crazy. And it says the wages. So wage is something earned, yeah, for
Mhm.
amount of time.
Yes.
The wages of sin is death.
Mm.
So we
Oh.
are given out the further we go from the now moment, we are given something that leads to us not living, not being vibrant, not so they religion has taken that and obviously
Mhm. Made it crazy. Yes. Mhm.
eviscerated, yeah, eviscerated
Mhm.
the now moment. But if we take the literal term of what these means in the now moment, we live. In this present moment, we can breathe, we are in joy, it is unshackled
Mm.
in the now moment. We are free.
Mm.
It's a truly, truly beautiful concept. And yet, when we go future,
Mhm.
past, the bitterness eats away like cancer, like you're
Yes.
saying.
Yes. I get this. This reminds me of a thing that I usually talk about, and that is that when you feel some kind of emotional pain, be it anger, fear, resentment, bitterness, whatever it is a signal that you're missing the target, that you're
Mhm.
not in alignment with who you
Yes.
are. The pain is a signal. It is what you were talking about, the sin.
Yes.
It is a signal that don't go any further down this or go
Mhm.
through it and return back.
Yes. Yes.
It's a signal that you need to align back to the truth. And if we've established that the truth is love and above, then you know
Yes.
where you need to go. Is it yourself you need to love more? Is it someone else you need to love more outside of yourself? Is it reality you need to love more?
Right.
Something so that you can come back to being in alignment, to
Yes.
being on target, being present, so that your soul can explore this reality. Because if you're not present, then your ego is present, and it works with things from the past and things in the future and gives you images of that stressing you out.
Mm.
So becoming more present, I think that maybe before we end, because this hour has gone so fast. It's mind-boggling how fast it's gone. I think we need to maybe leave our viewers and listeners with something that they can use to shift. And
Mm.
let's see if I think that maybe we could talk about what are the truths, I mean, we tell ourselves about aging. And I've heard a lot of them, so I had to write them down here. For instance, I'm not attractive anymore.
Mm.
A lot of women think of themselves of not attractive as soon as they reach a certain age, and they go, no, I'm not attractive anymore. So what
Mm.
do I need to tell myself to shift that belief? Well, that would be, for instance, I am vibrant and full of life.
Yes.
Instead of saying I'm not attractive anymore, you look at yourself and you say, I am vibrant and full of life.
Mm.
The other one thing is, no one will hire me.
Mm.
No one will hire me because I'm too old. You can say, I create my own experiences. Whatever that means, I create my own experiences. You don't need anyone else in that. If they don't want to hire you, then that's the wrong place for you to be. So I create my own experiences. Or for instance, no one wants a middle-aged person.
Mm.
I've heard a lot of men go down that drain telling, well, I'm middle-aged. No one wants a middle-aged man right now. Well, I attract only wise people.
Mm.
That's something you can say. I attract only wise people, and you stand in that because, as I said, the universe listens and delivers without conditions. My glory days are over. Well, for me, it's my beautiful days are all ahead of me.
Mm.
That's what I say to myself.
Yes. Yes.
My body is deteriorating. There's a lot of people thinking that way. Well, you could use instead saying, my body is healing. My body is intelligent. My
Mm.
body listens to my thoughts.
Mm.
My mind is slowing down. A lot of people going there. You can go, my mind is more selective and focused on quality.
Mm.
Because, I mean, we don't need to do everything fast, fast, fast. It's about quality. Because there's another thing that I have thought about was that time is actually a question of, let me see here. The older we get, the less time we have here. And that might be interpreted as something that is bad, but it actually isn't, because the less time you have, the more quality you will seek in that time. It
Mm.
actually heightens the quality of that time. If we do not heighten the quality, that is where we perceive that there is stress. We won't have the time to do whatever we want to do.
Mm.
So if you feel that I have no time, well, then you need to stop and ask yourself, what do I want to fill this time with? And realize that the power is with you. You decide what emotions you want to put in that. What quality do you want in that bowl? And
Mm.
it's always here, regardless of what you're doing. It's always here. What are the emotions that I want to explore? Where can I find love and above in my now moment? And that's how you change the quality with which you fill this time bowl with. And that makes you more vibrant. Without a doubt, it changes something within you when you understand that you're the owner of that bowl and you're the one choosing what you want to put in it,
Mm.
because it's in the now moment. It's not tomorrow. It's not yesterday. It doesn't cost you anything. It's
Right.
here and now, right now, in this moment.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I
Yes.
love it. That's beautiful. Thank you. What a great, what a great
Thank
topic.
you.
It's amazing. Everyone, thank you for watching. We've had Sean and Suresh and Tara and um, some other names that I'm not sure the name, but Thank
Well,
you
we say so.
so much.
Thank you, everyone, for being
Yes,
here today with us and exploring time and age and beauty and love and beliefs and truths and breathing.
yes, beautiful. Thank